Okay, so I am back with part two. Part two. What happened to Dana Jackson on that voodoo retreat? We left off talking about how just all these things that they called um, Miss Dana Jackson's family, uh, like, hey, she was having a seizure and she passed away from a heart attack and stroke. But guess what? Another thing I wanted to mention while on this topic is y'all know there are real life viruses going around right now. And I'm sorry if you didn't know, but I think you should know so that you can prepare yourself. Y'all know how we had to prepare our homes. When COVID was going on, we had sanitizer, bleach everywhere. Hopefully everybody kept those same habits, but what's really going on? We got Mpox going on. This is right here in the States. Before she left, she probably had got a whiff of that virus too. But then again, like I said on part one, the sign is saying she left perfectly healthy. Like, if anything, she was like excited is not the word. She was very ready and motivated and inspired to start her journey uh, on a spiritual level, right? Like, it was like a elevation for her or something. You know what I mean? Like, or however this works in the voodoo world, because they did say she went there. She went on this trip so that she could become a what. Even if I'm new to this, I don't know, but something called a manbo priestess or mambo priestess, which is a female ritual spiritualist. So I learned something new. Actually researching her story. She had been practicing voodoo though. She had already been just kind of into that craft for anywhere between 1 and 2 years. Because y'all know, different articles are going to say different things. But that's why I'm, commenting on it this way. Anything I state on my stream today is just my commentary, expressions, and views, my opinions, my own intellectual thoughts, okay? About this story. Like I left off saying, I'm leaning more to the son's side of just how everything seemed weird and how it must be a devastating, depressed feeling to, because some people, they really suffer with onset depression every day and different things trigger it. But this right here probably is one of those excusable reasons why um, he could feel things that he can't even explain right now. Like he probably didn't even want her to go. But y'all know how moms are. We can't tell them nothing. They say they can't tell us nothing once we're teens and all this once we get grown. But really, a lot of the moms don't listen to the kid. Once we grown, we care. We definitely have more knowledge. We're grown. We care about you. We love you. We might have our own families and lives and decisions to make, but overall, for the most part, nobody just stops loving their parent because their parent wants to go be a voodoo specialist or ritualist, right? If anything, he supported her. Um, so yeah, she researched and practiced voodoo before she even wanted to, uh, right? Just elevating her practice. They say this group of familiars, I guess of people that were part of her spiritual tribe and everything, is called Soyist. And y'all correct me if I got that wrong. It's spelled Soyeste. I'm just like, where they at? They don't think it's strange. Well, I'm sure they're not. I mean, they got to know something more, right? It's literally going on almost 2 months since, if not quite 2 months, because he said he had made contact with her. His last contact with her was July 13th. Okay, y'all, because remember, I didn't mean to say that she had died on July 1st. I meant to say that I guess she had traveled. hmm And then July 13th, I guess she had been there. What is that? In between the 1st and the 13th, like 12 days. Uh, he had heard from, probably like, okay, my mom all right and everything. But it was what was discussed in that last point of contact, as we all might know, that could probably help when it comes to him fighting for justice. Uh, I'm not gonna say justice yet. I don't know where that came from when I said that. I just feel like it's definitely more involved with what happened to Miss Jackson for sure. I feel like these people, it doesn't matter what kind of group business. If it's a group of sharks, if it's a group that's known that it could be dangerous and you should be careful in those type of practices and stuff, um, any new community you join is going to smell. This is just my perception. They smell. They ain't got to be a shark. They ain't got to be a wolf. They just, I feel like in a new community, people can, and trust me, I'm the right one to speak on this because I don't know. Like, I don't fear new places. I don't fear new people, nothing like that. I never have. If anything, I was more like a people's person and stuff like that. But it's people like Miss Jackson that make me think about my life all over again. It's not that I don't know who I am. It's not that I'm questioning why I was always happy to have new experiences and meet new people. It's that stories like this show us, however I was used to be any of it. It's just time out for it now. We have a right to new experiences, new journeys, new beginnings. But I'm sorry, it still goes back to that. Any newcomer of a group that has been long standing, okay, like long time standing, like voodoo communities and stuff like that, right? I would think we would all need to be as informed as possible before. Like it's one thing to like be associated with those groups, but like actually traveling with them, going overseas and stuff. I do show that through action. I'm not with it. I have to. There's got to be some serious trust going on. And so far, if I did ever travel like further miles with another group and it was against my will, it was only for medical reasons, if that makes sense. And even with them people, I had to fight sometimes like, do I really got to go 7 hours away? This be the whole doctor you're talking to. Do I really got to go 5 hours? Or I got to go to another state just for because sometimes you might not have a city or town or whatever. They might not have whatever you need right then uh, because it's a small community or whatever other reasons. You have to go to a different specialist. But I know all about it. But other than that, I just wouldn't choose to go somewhere like that type of community, new, like willingly, and you're 100% aware of the dangers and stuff like that. And then that was my question. Y'all might can help me out. Is it not like voodoo retreats and stuff? Maybe you get more of the experience. You go into the root lands. I don't know how this works. How many more though? This is just one story we're hearing about because the son is speaking out. We know she had people that loved her because they are speaking out. They want to know what happened. They want to give her a proper burial. How dare y'all think y'all can just call families from overseas and tell them they people gone, they people ain't coming back? And with Shanquilla Robinson's story, they sat there about out of all these stories, them group of friends, their boy, disrespect wasn't a word. Like y'all came to that woman's house and delayed her. I mean, delayed, yes, maybe delayed justice for Miss Robinson, but they relayed the message. Like it'd be crazy how people try to be the one to squeeze themselves in the shoes. Like, oh, I'm gonna be the one to tell her, as y'all should be, cause she left with y'all to Mexico. She left with y'all to Cabo. You should be the one to relay the message that something happened or that she's not coming home. But to me, y'all know why I said it's disrespectful. They actually had played a part in it and had the nerve to come over there to the mama house and cry. And, uh, what? The stories, if y'all go look at that Shaquilla Robinson story, them people sitting there trying to help the mama uh, make funeral arrangements. I mean, who do people think they are today? We just gonna take your child, leave your child in Cabo, Mexico, and then we gonna come back home and tell your child overdrink and just drink themselves sick. Like I just had thought with that story, we was done with that. We saw then you can't go on no big group, nothing. I don't know. I wouldn't. You know, it's hard enough to staying alive, sane, and safe in my own country. Now, why would I just, like, I don't know, guys. I don't know what I'm trying to say with this. This story, though, is at the same height and level of put you in a state of mind of curiosity and wondering and investigating and researching. Because, like, how do you go from initiation to, uh, what is it called? Unconsciousness, because they said she fainted. So you went from initiate whatever was going on in their ritual. People always say they're trying to help me understand her. Like, well, she wasn't strong enough. She probably wasn't strong enough for the ritual. Like, what are y'all talking about? Any retreat or group charging money to offer a service, just like any other business. I don't care if it's in another country. That's why I'm saying we have to do our research first, don't we? You say, well, I'm doing a little. I did voodoo for 2 years, so I know everything I need to know. I'm just gonna be in Port Art. I'm gonna be over here in Haiti somewhere. You know, I'm just going over here to get this. That is so unfortunate. You went over there to elevate your life, whether we have an opinion of how you were trying to do that or not. I know she wasn't robbing anybody. Well, from what I know, you know, you weren't hurting anybody. You just wanted to go out there on a retreat to for your own personal gain. I wouldn't say there's an error in that, but I don't know. I hope they look more into this story though for her son, because I feel like they do deserve that. In my opinion, it tells so much of the story already that he last heard from her July 13th, y'all. By July 21st, he was being told that his mom is not coming back to America from her retreat. And I can almost imagine. It's just like a lot of information at one time. Like, he knew what kind of retreat she was on. See, him and his mother had agreed to touch bases again. She had gave him a date. She said, "Look, we're going to do a more personal level of my retreat. I'm okay out here." That's kind of probably how the conversation went. I'm trying to tell y'all, according to like what the articles are saying, the news articles and stuff. And it's like he touched bases with her. Let me look at this again. July 13th was their last contact. That's what reports are saying. And she was due to stay, I think, all I know is he said 13 more days or something like that. So I had just kind of tried to divvy up the math and concluded that that would have been somewhere around July 26th or something when they were supposed to touch back again. But like I mentioned, he texted her on July 21st for maybe he felt something. Or maybe the 21st was the day they agreed to touch bases again. Because we know from the 13th to the 21st, if you really look at it, let me see, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I was trying to see, is that about a week from the last time he talked to her? But pretty much it is from July 13th to 21st. So he gave her a whole week. Like, okay, mom, you said it's going to be personal. You can't take calls. Hit me back when you can. So, boom, July 21st rolled around. He hadn't heard back from his. It said that he texted her on the 21st like they agreed and talked about. So that's where he finally initially found it weird that she didn't respond at all. And okay, let me get it right. Now by July 22nd, so that's a day after the 21st. It's literally 24 hours later. By that evening, hmm the grandma relayed. I'm telling y'all, the news just say grandma. I'm like, is this her mom or his dad's mom, right? Because if you're a grown man, you can't just put that together like that. That could be grandma, could be because some people, you know, they're in close relation or they have a close bond or they still or you know are kind of in contact even if the child is grown, right? That's that child's grandmother. So I got that part of it, but I was kind of upset I couldn't find like who it just say grandma, because it to me it do matter. She was the one that had to relay the news uh, of Miss Jackson's passing. But my question is still like, how do we exactly relay that type of news if you didn't get physical proof that some, I don't know, what are they just giving up? They're just saying they think she's been like what? Man, but my prayers, strongest positive prayers and strongest condolences and my thoughts, sincere thoughts and intent of thoughts and everything goes out to her son, because I just wonder how many other people would have even been had the courage and been brave enough even through such a tragedy to go ahead and come out and start telling her story. Maybe he feels something. Y'all don't sleep on. Oh no, he's already coming out saying what seemed inconsistent to him. We left off talking about that a little bit on part one. How y'all are saying she left here? If she had a stroke before, seizures, heart attack, all a person could do, a wise person, they're gonna listen to the details. And then claims she didn't bring her meds, but this was stated to him by some medical professional out there that was trying to give him details about what happened. Uh-huh. But like, I don't know. You could be a mom too and take medicine. Your grown son knows nothing about it because she didn't tell him. Maybe she shared that information with her trusted uh, voodoo group community, right? That went with her. I wish I could find out how. That's why I might come back with a part 3 later. How many of them left together or whatever. Um, so yeah, at first, none of those people over there want to give a response. My commentary and reaction to that is, if we're talking about Haiti, they're going through their own. Trust me. Probably, I mean, they're always going through it, and they're going through and I'm not saying that's a reason to overlook uh, other cases or other matters, but they were kind of supposed to still. The embassies and different stuff is there for a reason. If somebody has a concern, red flag, like, hey, I don't think something right with it, they should be able to do that and things go. But we saw this too. Shanquilla Robinson. Um, I think they were trying to. I mean, like Mexico was cooperative. They were very, I think, like trying to be cooperative for at least trying to give them like the same thing with this story. Some type of details. I think that's more than a blank, right? Sometimes people just don't like what they're being told. I'm not saying that's the case for her son. I mean that I understand you don't like what they're saying because it don't sound right, or you just don't like what they're saying. I mean it both ways. But sometimes you just don't like it, but they gave details, but it do take that person. Oh, was supposed. Sorry, it was so rude. I had this big stretch. It wasn't quite a yawn, just the biggest stretch. I had all day to do that. But it finally came on out. Excuse me for that, y'all. But uh, I feel like, yes, or there are YouTube videos. Let me add that because I might can't include all the details on this particular segment, but it's like there are YouTube videos, other content creators that's what they do. They talk about ways you can. It might sound vague or like you know, put it out there for those this could help. They share just travel tip videos. There's women that share them. There's men that share them. Young people share them because sometimes they travel with their families. A lot of people do. I'm not knocking that. That is not what I'm doing here. I just want people to be more careful. Okay? You could do everything right and go on a cruise ship, and something unfortunate happens on a cruise ship. If you don't believe me, you ask the Titanic survivors, or you ask the COVID, those people that were on cruises and ships, they just happened to be in the middle of it's crazy, like probably like a 2 week cruise ship or something. And guess what? When the shutdown happened, it was somewhere in between there. But just know some people did go through that. They just kind of had to stay on the cruise a little longer than they wanted to until some, I guess ports or stops and different things were opened back up. You even had packages that were backed up for a minute. You had shipping containers and all that, right? Backed up for a minute. It's all very important. Travel. We don't really, huh? Maybe appreciate it at the highest and deepest level we can until we're seeing stories like this and stuff, man. But rest in peace. The only reason I said that in part one, I didn't really want to say that because, like, I don't know, she could, to me, maybe that's just hope speaking. She could be alive out there. But this is my commentary and reaction on this topic. Maybe people rather just like, no, just let it go, or people had a different opinions, like, no, she's still. Well, to me, that's why the son's doing a good job, even raising questions, because you don't know what it might be uh with that. So I encourage him to continue to fight. Not just him, nor saying it's his responsibility alone. I feel like when a person heart feel what they feel, or do we know what he feels? Unless, but they do have a GoFundMe. They have raised 11 of 50,000 that we were trying to. They were trying to help collect for a proper burial and funeral. You can't just call somebody telling them they people. They need to stop that. Oh, your people went out of town. They died out there. Like, okay, help the family. It's like, what did you want them to leave it out at that and they move on with their life? I don't understand it. I understand being the bearer of news and, because death is real and stuff like that too. But, like, I'm saying if it happens in another, like, where that person wasn't from, they just went to a university in another country or they're working in another country, they living there temporarily. Um, I would say, help. We need something going on. Like, right? You can't control anything else, but retreats and stuff like that, man. Research that stuff. I wouldn't care if it's a yoga retreat, a marriage retreat, a financial, how to save your money, man. Because I feel like people pick and choose. Like, okay, we're gonna look into that one or that one, and see what they about. But really, is we doing it to everybody like we should? Because I don't care. That son is right. He should stand up like, yeah, like what y'all mean she not coming back home? We had whole plans when she coming back, the day she coming back from the plane. People can't order round trip tickets, but we don't know that much of the story yet. They end up going that deep with Shanquilla Robinson because see with that story, some of them had got to the hotel or got there before some of the other ones. That's how that story went. But this group, kind of like just went together, got there together. We don't know. But that was good to hear that he had like got to talk to her and everything when he did. I don't know. It could be a lot on the person's mind right now, whatever. That's why I said my positive thoughts go out to his family, right here from Crown Publishing Content Channel too, and as an individual, and as a Black woman, and I might not have done as much traveling as the others out there across the globe. Seriously, but that don't mean like I don't see it in my future or something. If I have a choice in the matter, you definitely have other places in the world you want to see one day. But then you see stories like this. It's just the type of person I am, and you'd be like, I could be good right at home. But I'm a firm believer we leave when we supposed to. People don't want to hear that in a time of grief and sorrow and stuff like that. But it's absolutely true. I just feel like we leave here when it's our time. People want to put emphasis on how like what happened and all that too, but I do feel like just like other people, some things probably can be avoided or lessened, and save more lives at the end of the day.